it doesn't matter who you are. You need to respect the person you're with and be nice to them and be kind. And sometimes we have to teach others that we want to be treated kindly. So I had to go through that struggle, and it really surprised me that I was having to go through that struggle. I felt guilty for going through that struggle. I need another sip. Hello everyone. Well, we have had a very low-key week, having relaxing, cozy times at home, and it's been very comforting to be around our pets and to eat comfort food. But underneath it all, we've been a little worried about Mom and her current health situation. I talk about Mom a lot on this channel because she is a big part of our lives. With a failing heart condition and losing much of her eyesight due to macular degeneration, attention towards her needs are becoming more challenging as the days go by, and we really do want to get it right. So welcome to a chatty vlog here as we talk about taking care of an aging parent, and I really want to hear about your experiences as well. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, April 14th, and today Mom has a big day at the hospital planned. She has 4 appointments. Thank you, Centennial Hospital, for coordinating all of these appointments in Nashville on one day so that we don't have to take 4 trips into Nashville. I am so appreciative of that. But I thought while we were spending a lot of time with Mom this week that I would actually talk about some caregiving surprises and things that I've learned along the way that might be helpful for some of you that have not started caregiving with your parents yet. You know, everyone has a different situation. I've talked about Mom a lot on this channel, and one of you actually said every other word out of your mouth is the word mother. You know, she is part of our family, and she does require some attention, and we do a lot for her naturally. That's just the way it's going to be. You know, when I cared for my daughter when she was living with us or near us, you know, I talked about her every other word out of my mouth. So, I mean, I think that's common. I think that's a natural thing. And I just thought as we went through the week, I would talk a little bit about some of the things that surprised me with caregiving or taking care of an aging parent. There were just some things I didn't know, and I was really naive. And although I have talked a lot about what we do for Mom, you know, there just are some things that surprised me, and I thought I might go a little deeper and share some of those things. So stay tuned as we go through out the week. So right now I'm packing a backpack. We're not expected to stay overnight, but I am packing something for the day. I needed something to do, something to eat, and don't laugh, but I have packed some underwear just in case we have to stay overnight. I was thinking, what is the 1 or 2 things that I would just be miserable if I had to stay overnight? It's like, I'm pretty sure they would have soap, toothbrush, and there's probably even a drugstore or little store downstairs. I'm sure there's food available, but I don't like to be stuck, and I like to be prepared. You guys know me if you've watched my channel at all. I do also have in my backpack my iPad charger and my phone charger. I also have my airport book, Arthur Haley. I am a little over halfway through, really enjoying that. And I love to play some iPad games. I could also do some planning or writing on there. I need another sip. Okay, so I'm also taking a couple of peanut butter sandwiches, which I cut in half. George said he didn't want one. If he gets hungry enough, we've got halves. We can just all share if we need to, but I've got one for Mom. I don't know how much time we're going to have to eat lunch. I also packed a tiny granola pack. It's got granola chunks. It's got Brazil nuts, pecans, walnuts, and almonds. It's just a little pack because I really don't think that we'll eat that much, but if we need a little something, we've got that as well. I'm going to throw these in there. I got a granola bar we can put in there. And I have a chocolate bar to put in there. I only have one, so I'm pretty stingy with these. But somebody could twist my arm, you know, for a few bucks to get this one away from me. Mom did say she would buy dinner tonight since we are taking her to Nashville, which I think is really sweet. So I'm trying to decide where we should go. Like, I really want steak, but then it's like when somebody offers to buy your dinner, you don't want to say, well, how about taking us out for steak? So I'm not going to do that, but I'm not even sure we're going to feel like having a sit-down dinner. We may try to hit In-N-Out Burger if it's not too crowded. We may just need to do a drive-thru. We may all be so worn out, and Mom especially. So we will see at the end of her appointments kind of what we feel like we need to do. Let's have a fun week with this, whatever happens. I do covet your prayers for Mom because, yeah, we'll see if she is a candidate for the TEVR procedure. It's TEVR, I think, and it is to see if her heart valve can be replaced because she already has a replacement heart valve, but she needs another one because that one is no longer effective. We're going to see if she's a candidate for that procedure. So she's got a CT scan and she's got some type of echo. She has an appointment with a surgeon and the heart doctor. I guess that's all I need to tell you guys for now. We'll just take it through the week and see what happens. So stay tuned. We'll see. The day was really hard on Mom. It was a very long day. We were able to get a wheelchair, and we ordered this same one on Amazon when we got home. Okay. All right. I'm going to just swing by. Yay. All right. It is 3:45, and we have had her 11:30 appointment today. She had her 1:30 ultrasound. We were supposed to have a 2:30 appointment for her CT scan, but we're still here waiting. Her 3:30 doctor appointment we have now missed, so I hope they are holding her appointment for us. Thoroughly enjoying the Starbucks. Well, they finally took Mom back for her CT scan. We've been in here for 3 hours now. Still waiting. We got the place to ourselves. Tired of playing games, and I'm not really in the mood to read.
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way. Thistle and an apple tree. How different two souls can be. But we both grow from the same sorrow. If we both know we'll be together tomorrow, I can be like a tree in the wind. and it just cuts us deeper through. The longer I'm away from you, yeah, we fight good. We make love better if we both know we'll be together.
Hey guys, it is Wednesday now, and I feel like I have so much to tell you guys. We did have a pretty good day out with Mom yesterday. It could have been worse. I am so grateful for everyone's moods and just being calm and just going with the flow. It was a little frustrating having to wait 3 hours for a test. That was a little over the edge. Even the staff were pretty apologetic, and the doctor, that last doctor, we were late for that appointment by about an hour, if not more, and they were kind enough to wait for us. The whole office was waiting for us. We were the last ones in there. We had the place to ourselves, and everyone was just really nice at Centennial Hospital, and I just appreciate that so much. We did have to borrow a wheelchair. We were so grateful for that. I've also ordered a wheelchair for Mom for us to have in the future, and we'll probably be using that a lot instead of the walker. Mom has a foot that is giving her trouble. It has given her trouble off and on for about 2 years, and when there's a flare-up with that, it's just really difficult. I do have a story to tell about In-N-Out Burger. It will never be the same. I don't want to embarrass anyone, so I'm only going to go into a portion of what happened. But because of Mom's foot, we had a little situation where Mom had a little bit of trouble in the bathroom. Just, she couldn't put weight on the foot. So that left her there to, sit on the toilet. I'm just going to say it, okay? That was the whole problem, is the foot would not allow her to step on it. And the bathroom was locked. So I did have to get an In-N-Out employee to get some kind of pole. I think it might have been the end of a mop or something, and was able to unlock the latch. I tried to do it with my key and with a pin. Before I got the In-N-Out employee in there, though, I had set my purse down on the sink, which subsequently fell over, and I heard this noise behind me and looked, and because there's a sensor on the water nozzle, it made the water start pouring into my purse, and so I had to quit trying to get the door open and get the water out of my purse and rescue our phones and get them wiped off. Luckily, they're fine. As someone described, it was kind of like a I Love Lucy scenario. That's really the best way I can say it, and I'm telling this out of love and humor. I'm not making fun of anyone. It just happened, and it's best to laugh about it. I wanted to cry at the moment. I didn't cry. It was still kind of humorous even as it was happening. Mom was handling it very well. All she said was, "I can't believe this." And so this wonderful In-N-Out Burger employee came in, and I'm like, I really need help getting her out of the stall. We need a little bitty employee, if you've got one, that can go under there and unlock it, and then I'll get her out from there. Well, here she comes in with a pole. Almost hit Mom over the head. Oh my goodness, I'm over there worried about our phones, or are we gonna have to go buy new iPhones now? Luckily, everything in my purse, I got all that, everything dried out, and then I was able to, get Mom up and out, and it doesn't end there. You thought it would. It doesn't end there. In her rush to get out of imaging, in her rush to get her out of imaging, she put her pants on backwards. It's just the kind that's got the stretchy waist, so it was hard for her to tell. Plus, she has macular degeneration. But we did notice that when I was helping her get out of that situation at In-N-Out Burger, that her pants were on backwards and the pockets were facing the other way. Mom, I love you. I appreciate the humor and the grace, and I'm not making fun of you. I am just laughing with you over this. I hope you are too, because it was kind of funny. I ordered some shoes. I just wanted to let you know they came in. I'm going to link them here. I tried them on. I love them. I was really worried. I have had pretty good luck on Amazon with shoes, and these are made really well. And they have a little Velcro thing here, which is very strong, and you can adjust it. They had other colors. I ordered Mom some black ones. I think we're going to wait till everybody settles down and it gets quiet, and I do have some things that I want to talk with you guys about today, but I'm really feeling that now is not the time. It's not the vibe. I've tried 7 times to talk to you guys, and we've had some kind of noise or interruptions, so I'm just going to give it a break, and then maybe when I come back, I'll be a little less frustrated. Okay, so George is mowing, so you're probably going to hear some noise. But if he's coming by, I'll probably just raise my voice and push through. Since we have been taking Mom on this doctor's visit this week and trying to get her heart situation resolved, it's just making me reflect a little bit on caregiving. And when I say caregiving, it's just loosely defined. Any type of care that you're needing to provide a parent. So, we're not over there 24/7 or anything like that. It's not that kind of caregiving, but it's just making me reflect on a few things. And I know that there were some things that surprised me, and I thought I would share some of my thoughts on this. I mean, even in the last video or two, I've talked about how Mom got up here, and I'm not going to go through all that again. And on numerous videos, I've talked about, things that we do for Mom. I just wanted to talk about some things that I was surprised about, or I was just naive. I want to make it very clear. I mean, very clear. Like, I'm very adamant about this. I am not complaining. I am not complaining. I love my mom. I am glad that I can help her. She is a widow also. She's by herself. She's been through a lot lately. She's needing help. And I'm happy that I can give her that help. So if I seem like I am complaining, I'm not meaning to. And I took notes because if I don't do this in some type of order, it will just be, I will just be regurgitating a scattered thought process. So I've gone to the trouble to take some notes here so that it can be kind of put together in a little cohesive pattern here. Like all my life, I knew people took care of their parents and stuff, but I just never realized all of the different ways that you would need to. I mean, it just never occurred to me. So she has like macular degeneration, and she has trouble seeing, but she can see well enough to live by herself. She's not completely blind, but she does have to have a huge font on a lot of things. And so even texting and emailing and things like that are just, they're just hard for her. So I never realized the time that it would take, and that's an easy one. I mean, these were just the first things that I thought of, and I never realized what it meant when a person's parent couldn't drive anymore, and the adjustments that we had to go through with that, which I'll talk a little more about that later. But I was kind of shocked at how much there was that you needed to consider. I guess that's a good way to put it. and the time that it would take, especially when you're working already. So, I mean, it really is just kind of taking a new member. That is a great way to put it. I hadn't really thought of that, but it is just like you're taking a new member into your family. So that's a good way to put it. That is an excellent way to put it. And that's exactly what you're doing in a way. You know, there's things that you have to consider, like how much of yourself can you give, and the inner struggle you feel when you realize you're needed a lot and you can't be there 24/7, and you just have to go through this little shakedown of, okay, I really need to be there a lot, but I can't be there 24/7. What am I going to be able to do and still be able to have my own life where I'm not totally ignoring work or my spouse or other members of my family, and then I'm not ignoring me, you know. So I had to go through that struggle, and it really surprised me that I was having to go through that struggle. I felt guilty for going through that struggle. I felt selfish for going through that struggle. But in reality, I did need to also be there for my spouse. I needed to be there for us. I needed to be there for other members of my family. And I needed time to deal with me and my stuff and my medical appointments and my spiritual well-being. So I was really surprised that I was having to even have those thoughts, and the guilt that you would feel from having to make decisions over what you can do and what you can't do. And that also leads to some boundaries, healthy boundaries. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, you know, you realize you can't do everything. And so you have to figure out what it is you can do. You have to think about what you can do so that you don't burn out in life, you know. And I was starting to experience some burnout really, really bad. I craved just being able to have some time alone. And George and I kind of craved for a while there, just us being able to go out to dinner or see friends. There was a long period of time in which we did not get to see friends for any length of time. So, you know, and I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to explain the thought processes that you go through and the guilt that you feel because you are wanting to do these things and you're just trying to figure it out. And I know there's different levels of care, as I mentioned, and not every parent is going to need everything all at once. And, you know, we've been lucky that Mom has been able to live by herself and take care of herself. And, you know, we can talk a little more about that later, but I did have to devise a list of when is it time where we absolutely have to draw the line and go, you can't live by yourself anymore. Fixing a meal, being able to walk back and forth in the house, getting up, getting around, not being a fall risk, being able to shower and take care of yourself, and being able to get up and out of bed in the morning and get dressed. Those kind of things are my criteria. And to be honest, we are edging a little closer to that point very quickly. But I did have some categories and some things that I thought might be interesting to share for you guys. And some of this may be if you have been a caregiver before in any way, you may know some of these things already. But just like, for example, administrative and finances. And I have to just look at my notes. Eventually, you know, I did start paying Mom's bills. I think it was she just kind of lost her ability to know time frames. it came around so fast she wouldn't realize that when things were due. And so it was starting to become a problem, and it was no problem for me. She did add me to her account, and I think that kind of thing is what is good for me to share, because if a parent can add you to their account and put or, not and, because and would require both of you to sign things, but the or word allowed me to do her banking, and they will talk to me on the phone, and I can have a debit card for her, and I can take care of her expenses, buy her groceries. That was just a really critical thing so that I could help her in huge ways. She trusts me. That is a big factor. If the person cannot trust you, they don't need to be adding your name to their list. But, she trusts me, and I'm very good about records because I don't want anybody coming back on me now that my name is on her account saying, you spent this and you spent that. I mean, we know, and I've been making notes and doing a financial analysis and explaining what this is and that is and all of that. One thing you have to be sure and do if you're taking over their finances, their taxes, their property taxes. And something that I didn't know was that she could get a discount for being over 65. And I don't know all the details or all the qualifications, and I'm sure it's different for every state and county, but she pays county taxes and she pays city taxes. And then, of course, the IRS tax, all of that. I had to gather her things for the IRS taxes. And, with the help of Mom, the first year I did it, I knew what to expect. I mean, I was paying her bills, so I kind of knew what types of paperwork would be coming in so that I could give that to her accountant at the time, which was her sister. A lot of people don't know that sometimes as a senior in certain situations, you can get a discount for being over 65. So she did have to go through a qualification process, and I'm sure it's different for every city, county, state. I mean, some states may not even have that. She was able to get a pretty good discount on her city and county property taxes. Also, power of attorney. I haven't really had to use our power of attorney yet, but it has given Mom and me some peace of mind just knowing it's there if I need to do anything on her behalf. And so that is something that is very helpful to look at early on while your parent is able to talk to you about it. I appreciate Mom trusting me to be power of attorney over her things and making decisions on her behalf. It's just given us both a peace of mind knowing that things could be done if they needed to be done and will be done when they do need to be done. I actually found the papers online and downloaded them, and then we had an attorney to go through it with me. She changed some of the terminology based on Tennessee state law and a few other things. I can't even remember what it was, but I did have a lawyer friend look at it, and Mom and I sat down with her, and then we signed it and everything. Everybody signed it. So there are some circumstances in which the parent can have a trust set up, and I don't really know what it's called or how it works exactly. I just know that we know of people that have had this trust, and if they have to go into assisted living and they were to run out of money, it would be paid by the state once the money ran out. And I don't really know how all of that works because I'm not a lawyer, but I know that there are ways that you can help protect a parent's money and long-term situation if you have a trust set up. It does cost a little bit to have that set up. It's a little bit involved, but there is that option. I just wanted to mention it. I didn't want to overlook it. Mom does not have that trust, but it can help preserve funds for later years. I'm going to put this one here, passwords. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can get with your parent and maybe discuss or see if they'll let you know what their passwords are. It's really helpful because if they get to the point where they're forgetting their passwords or don't have them written down or don't remember where it was written down, it can really mess you up. That was an issue with us, and it's been an issue on nearly everything that we have gone through. Also, handling the handicap tags, where you can apply, you can get the plates for the car, which we had, and then Mom, we sold our car and put that money in her savings account, which was really nice because she wasn't driving anymore, and it was just no reason to keep that car, and it was better to go ahead and sell it and get a higher amount of money for it rather than wait and it just not get very much for it and it just sit there, So that's one thing to consider is a car itself, selling of a car if it's not being driven anymore. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back. So you can apply for the license plate and the placard, and that's what we did the first year. And then after we sold Mom's car, we only needed the placard. I'm going to go grab a little bit of lunch, and then we'll hit the next topic. All right, the next topic arena is health and safety. So, I find myself making a lot of appointments for Mom, and I've been doing that since the early days because it made sense for me to make them because I worked and I knew when the best work days were to make the visits. Now I'm retired. It's really no big deal what day it is. I mean, I prefer to go out on Thursday and Friday, but I still go out in the early part of the week. So, but it is nice to be able to make those appointments. Like I said, she does have macular degeneration, and sometimes getting the numbers right on phone numbers, it's just harder for her to make calls and use her phone and text and email and all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing that for quite a while. But my main point is with all that, it's really helpful to have her insurance card because you always need that information up front when you make an appointment. Recently, I've had to get a little bit more involved in her medical management, probably in the way of, like, for example, I had to apply for a grant for her to get shots in her eyes because the last grant that Mom had originally applied for, it had run out. So I had to go through her eye doctor and see what all we needed to do. I mean, it wasn't complicated at all, but you just need to be aware that sometimes you can get these grants, for things that maybe her insurance won't cover. So sometimes if you ask the doctor's office, sometimes they're aware of programs or grants that you can apply to. Some things that are really starting to be a problem with the macular degeneration is that she just cannot see things clearly or very well. That has caused problems with her phone, with her thermostat, and, other things here and there. Like, we have to be really careful at what appliances she can use. She has gone through so many appliances just trying to realize what's going to be easy for her to use and be able to see and master since she's living by herself. So that's a learning curve, that I had to have, and one that I'm not very good about. Like, I'm not good at knowing what accessibility, that's a hard word for me to say. Accessibility. I'm not very good at that. Like, I don't know much about that. I don't know how to help her in that respect. I've been on Amazon and looking, for things that I thought she might could use here and there that would help her out, but that's the extent of it. So, I mean, I myself need a learning curve on how I can help her through this macular degeneration. So she needs a lot of light, big fonts, and one of our challenges has been that she has an Android phone and I have an iPhone, and they're totally different, and I don't know how to learn her phone. Honestly, I don't want to learn her phone. I went to the iPhone because I didn't want to do Android, and she went to Android because she didn't want to learn iPhone. So we're at a headlock with that one. If she needs help with her phone, I just take her to her provider and let them help her out with it, because I don't have the bandwidth. I just don't have the bandwidth. Okay, something I did not know about also until George was eligible for it, and it may not be in all states. I don't really know. I think it's a federal thing, but you can get over-the-counter products free of charge for up to a certain dollar amount, but you have to order it from a certain website through the government. So like if you have Medicare, you have access to this program. So Mom kept telling me that she had some kind of program, but she wasn't able to tell me how to access it or where to get it, or I just didn't even know what she was talking about, So then when George was eligible for Medicare, he was doing his, and he told me about it. So then I realized, well, that's what she was talking about. So now every quarter I can do that. So just know that there is that over-the-counter products. It's certain brands, and it's through a certain website. I guess they're trying to save money or whatever. It is there. I want to say it's like $60 or something like that. So we order that every quarter for her, and we try to get her all the supplies that she's going to use for that quarter that they have in stock. All right, so on to the next subject here I had was food and shopping. Mom really doesn't like to fix meals for herself. I mean, she's one person. I think we would all be that way to a certain extent. You'll fix a nice meal for yourself here and there, and then the rest of the time you're just kind of eating whatever quick thing you can find. So I think that's partly just because she lives by herself, but even more so now, she does not feel like fixing a full-on, well-cooked meal for herself. It's got to be something that is quick. So, through the past year and a half to 2 years maybe, we've tried different things. She is not eligible because she lives just far enough out of town proper that Meals on Wheels will not be delivered fresh for her daily. I was talking about food, and then my memory card quit. Mom lived just outside of the city limits and could not take advantage of the Meals on Wheels program that delivered fresh daily. She qualified for it, but she just lived too far out of town. But they did agree to bring her frozen meals once a week. She found that she really just didn't like the frozen meals. So we tried various home delivery things, and she didn't really like the way those tasted either. I mean, let's all face it, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal. I just don't cook, and so that's not been a very good option, but, we've taken her groceries weekly, and we try to find things that she might eat. Sometimes grocery stores will have a meat and three that you can go up and order, and sometimes we do that. Sometimes we get her barbecue. That's been kind of a harder thing for us to figure out, is how to get her some good meals. As far as her groceries go, we do get her groceries once a week, and I did make the request of, let's do this one time a week. I have a story about the bacon, where in the first weeks that she lived in the new place, where I nursed her bacon to work and through commutes and delivered the bacon, and it took extra time out of my day to get it over there cold, and I decided I can't be worried about all these little grocery details like that. So then it became a problem of, now she's calling me every time she thinks she needs something so I can put it on the list, and or texting me. And then she kind of got to where she couldn't text very well, and so we figured out the Google Keep program. Mom just tells Google what grocery item she needs, and Google puts it on the list through this Google Keep app, and I have that on my phone, and I can look at it. I call her every Saturday night and say, Mom, we're going to get groceries tomorrow, so make sure if you need anything to put it on the list. Yes, it's on my to-do list to remind her every Saturday night that tomorrow is Sunday. So right now, she has toilet paper on her list and a jug of Milo tea. It's only Wednesday here. So it comes in handy when we buy her groceries, because I am on her bank account, and I do have a card for her, and it's just easy for us to run in and pick up her groceries and the things that's on her list. What does get challenging is when I'm shopping for her list and my list, and I'm trying to get it all with one pass-through, but it's so hard for me to juggle the two lists. Also, I order a lot of things for her off of Amazon. We already have an Amazon Prime account, so I just order everything for her. I'm having to do all of her orders anyway. It's just become harder for her to order things off the internet, and so I am doing that. One of the conversations I was really happy that we had was, I sat down with Mom and said, all right, nobody likes to talk about it, but we need to talk about what happens when you pass away, because I need to know what accounts you have, where you have money. I need to know where you want to be buried. I need to know the passcodes to get in and out of the house, and because if these things happen, it's going to be a problem. What do I need to know if you go? And so early on, we started having those conversations. One of the things that we didn't really talk about much was what's going to happen when she was up here and she had her car and she was intending to drive. But when she got up here and saw Nashville traffic, it's just a lot of traffic, and it was just more than she really needed to be in with macular degeneration. And she told me, she said, I don't think I can do this. I'm sitting here watching you drive, and I just don't think I can do this. So I was really happy that she came to that conclusion on her own. We did kind of have to set some boundaries, because like when I was working, Mom would have plans for me for Saturday and Sunday. She would call them Friday night and say, I know you're off tomorrow, take me shopping or whatever. But then she would also be wanting to go to church on Sunday and getting groceries and running errands for that too. So, I really did have to set some boundaries. It's like, Mom, I can give you Sunday, but I've got to have Saturday. And we already had several nights during the week where we were doing things. So at the time that Mom moved up here, she also had a poodle, and we were doing poodle groomings, which we did do on Saturday a lot. So, I mean, there were already built-in times where we did both Saturday and Sunday. And I had to kind of put a limit to that because I needed time to take care of our household, our laundry, and, you know, things that we needed to take care of. I was just really happy that we didn't have to have heavy conversations about that, but just know that when they're driving and they don't really need to be, you might have to have those conversations. And it's best to steer their own thoughts so it's their own decision. You know, we just presented her with the facts and drove her to make her own decision. There's these little golden nuggets of real information that you can give them to help them make their own decisions for what's best for them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to go check on my YouTube upload. We're going to enjoy the rest of the day. It's been busy, productive. That's where we are. It's so beautiful outside. I'm looking at the breeze, and I think I'm going to open up the windows in here and enjoy it. We have storms coming tomorrow. All right, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I had a ripe banana, so I put banana, whole grain flour, or whole wheat. I guess it's whole wheat. And I put an egg, a little bit of cinnamon, protein powder. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to see what happens. All right, I flipped them once. So far, so good. They're sticking together. Probably could have let them brown a little more. Okay, I think they are ready. Oh, look at that butter sliding off. I have a little bit of butter in between each pancake, so we're just going to drizzle a little bit of honey on there. All right, banana pancakes and a Devo. Let's do it. Really good. I'm proud of myself. Just whipped it together, no recipe. What you doing, pretty girl? What you doing, pretty girl? I love you. All right, I went with the Stouffer's fish fillet because I'm busy today and I need it to be quick. It's got 21 grams of protein. The downside is the sodium, and it's not very much, but it's okay. I don't need much. Might have popcorn later, who knows. I'll put a little bit of London Pub malt vinegar. We like that on our breaded fish. That is what is for lunch today. All right, so we got a big package in today. Wonder what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Oscar goes to...
Mama actually purchased it, and she had it come here so we could deal with it.
Oh, that's not near wide enough. She should have got the wide one.
Mom is getting to where she can't hardly walk at all.
It was her idea to get it.
So, yeah, she asked us to order this, and George could put any parts together that needed to be put on there, and I guess he'll do that, and then we'll put it in the back of my car. Yeah, thank goodness we don't have to put the whole thing together. It looks nice. It came well recommended with reviews on Amazon, so this is what we have. Probably the feet pedals are going to be in the box, so we'll see what's in the box.
It's got the feet in it.
Flounder for dinner. All right, so George has really been doing a good job of fixing flounder without any breading. I know the top of my head is cut off, but this is the best I can do right now. This is so good. I'm guessing a little bit of olive oil, butter, wine, and either lemon or lime juice, a little bit of parsley, Probably some seasonings, maybe garlic, onion powder, salt and pepper. So good. And then little bitty potatoes. There's the rest of me. Hey guys. On with the evening. Happy Thursday. I am here at Mom's mailboxes. I just got her mail. We're gonna go get our nails and toes done. I'm gonna get rid of this red. So we're going to a different place today. One that can give me the color I pick out. I'm a little concerned about Mom getting out today. Like, it's just really getting hard to take her out. She's more and more frail and can't walk as good. And with every week that passes, I just realize assisted living is fast approaching, and we'll see what happens with this heart valve surgery if she ends up being a candidate for that. I'm just kind of worried about how today is going to go after our last outing. I think I could have just stayed at home today, but I'm trying to have fun. Hey guys, I am back now from a little afternoon with Mom. It was very relaxing. Got my nails done. The red is off and I'm pretty happy with this color. I just wanted to go light. Let's do summer. The toes are the same color, by the way. But we did have a nice afternoon. I'm just going to be honest. Mom did not really feel like getting out, and she pretty much said, you know, if this valve replacement doesn't happen soon, she's just not going to be able to get out. She really struggled. Last several times we've been out, it's been a struggle. She didn't really feel like going to eat today. She really didn't even feel like getting her nails done. But here's what we did. We went through the drive-thru of Chick-fil-A. That way she didn't have to get out again, you know, for another time. So we just ate in the car, in the parking lot where we were going to get our nails done. And Dexter has just come in and is sitting right here. What's wrong, baby? I don't know why he's hiding under the table. Are you okay, bud? Dexter. I'm giving him a massage. It's hard to get Dexter time because normally Maddie takes me over. She's always by my side in my lap, and Dexter just gives up. He just goes somewhere else, bless his heart. He doesn't want me to stop. The joy side of the caregiving. It is nice when you can get together and enjoy the time, talk about old times, funny things that happened, and just, you know, as for me, I try to stay away from anything negative that would be triggers for either of us, because we both have really strong personalities. And, you know, I've just been honest with you guys. Sometimes we haven't gotten along very well. You just learn what buttons not to push. And I will say that I think we've both been doing better about that. That's another boundary you can set. If we're going to talk about this, I'm going to leave. Or, you know, if you're going to act that way, I'm going to leave. Everybody has boundaries for how they know they want to be treated. It doesn't matter who you are. You need to respect the person you're with and be nice to them and be kind. And sometimes we have to teach others that we want to be treated kindly. I did want to say that, you know, we have had a good time and laughing. There's only a few more things that I really wanted to say in this vlog, and I really think I have mentioned this in all of my other segments that I've talked about on here, and that is the grace of boundaries. It's not about the lack of love or being selfish. It's just, you know, it's to keep everyone grounded, to preserve the relationship, to continue to maintain other relationships in your life as well, and to protect your inner self. And in some cases, I had to set boundaries for me to protect my job. It's like, look, I can only do one doctor's appointment a week. I can't be doing, 2 doctor's appointments, a grooming, and a nail appointment all in one week. I mean, we really had to set some guidelines as to what would work. I had to protect my job, I had to talk with management and let them know what was happening. And I told them, if at any point you think that I'm not pulling my weight and you're upset with me, please let me know. Because I'm trying to be here for you. I'm trying to be here for Mom. Trying to be here for my family, and do everything that I'm supposed to do. And I asked if I needed to fill out FMLA forms for Mom. That's another point you need to know. You can, if you're helping a parent, you can fill out some FMLA forms. You can talk with HR to see if you qualify. I always tried to make her appointments in the afternoon so that it wouldn't mess with my most productive moments of the day, which were in the morning. Sometimes I would work through lunch, or I would just eat at my desk while I worked. Sometimes I would stay over, come in earlier on other days. So there's just a lot that goes into caretaking that people don't realize. Even the people that you're caring for don't realize. And again, this is not complaining. It's just me telling you all the things that kind of surprised me. Nobody tells you what it's like until you're in the middle of it. It surprised me, all the different dynamics of taking care of a parent. There was just so many elements to it. And then add on them building a house and moving 2 times really escalated things quickly. Some of the boundaries that I set, I think I've already kind of talked about, but they were some big ones for me. And groceries once per week, unless she was sick and I needed to go get meds or something like that. And I am so grateful that, she complied with that. When I worked, we had to work out, Mom, your day is Sunday, mine's Saturday. Let's give me one day out of the 7 to get my stuff done. It doesn't matter who you are. You need to respect the person you're with and be nice to them and be kind. And sometimes we have to teach others that we want to be treated kindly. Another thing, when I worked, I told her that I really could not be responsible for her social life because I had too many appointments we were having to doing all of her shopping, taxiing, and things like that. And when it came to being social or just, hanging out or doing things, I just didn't have time to do that. So we already saw each other 2, 3, 4 times a week as it was. And with me working, I just had to say it. I'm sorry that you sit there all day long while I'm working, but when I get off, I'm ready to go home. It's like we would do haircuts and grooming and groceries and doctor's appointments, but it's like I couldn't go out a 4th time to do just going out to eat or something. It's like let's do our errands and going out to eat in one night, instead of an array of nighs. And I really think sometimes Mom thought we would be over there more, but we had been gone so much in the last 2 years. We just really wanted to be home. We had things that we had to do here. And of course, I was trying to do this channel, and that became more just an escape for me, a hobby, just to kind of get my head into something different besides work and Mom, And I also think I mentioned the boundary of I was not wanting to maintain 2 houses. The option of assisted living, when it got to the point where she couldn't function in the house, she would have to go to assisted living because I can't maintain the two households, and really kind of struggled to keep my own house clean and get projects done here. And so maintenance and house cleaning at her house was something I was not willing to pick up. And I think I've made that pretty clear. It does try to make you feel guilty or selfish, but I just know what my boundaries are and what my physical and mental limits were. And so all I've really done is just try to keep me sane and keep myself alive. And she did get a house cleaner, and that really solved a lot. Mom kind of lost track of her days and nights, so sometimes she would call me and wake me up, when I was sleeping. Subsequently, I would do the same with her because I would think, okay, it's in the middle of the day, she'll be awake, but she was asleep. So we had some issues with that, and I did have to set my phone in a do not disturb fashion after I had a couple of therapist appointments. It's the only time in my life when I really had to have some therapy. I'm just gonna say, Mom and I had a bad row, and it just wasn't working out, and I needed to know what was normal, because I didn't know what I should be doing as a person, and what boundaries I should set. And I needed somebody to talk to because I was really wearing George out, and I was wearing people at work out, and it's like I needed somebody to talk to. And so I only had just a couple of appointments, but they were enough to get me on the right path and know that, okay, if you've got to take care of yourself in order to take care of another person. I really inquired with the therapist about that point because I wasn't sure how to handle that. Sleep was always important to me, and if I didn't get it, you didn't want to be around me, the next day. So she said, overnight, there's just not anything that you can do. Just have your mom call 911 if she has an emergency. Otherwise, it can wait until morning. Anyway, I have opened up my experiences in caretaking. I hope you gained something out of it. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you watching. I really do enjoy all the comments that you leave, so let me know what you thought about today's video. Give me a thumbs up, a hype, or whatever. I appreciate those so much. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next week. Bye now.
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way. Thistle and an apple tree, how different do